The objective would be they want to communicate with the people who are followers of Virgin Forest, who are interested in their business. But I looked at the customer base of an oil and gas trading company, and I felt that a lot of them may not be interested in those academic issues we discuss. The people who buy fuel, they are more interested in, like, what you're doing for them. It's for them, it's quite appealing. So I said, okay, let's do something that is more of an in-house thing, where we will have a fireside talk or a fireside chat, where two moderators or one moderator will ask questions, every question that they want to ask about Virgin Forest.
Thank you very much, sir. So just like the chairman has said, we would open up the session so that everyone who has questions, staff for Virgin, of course, I'm sure some of you would have a lot of things you would like to know. This is an opportunity for you to ask any question you'd want to know. But before that, I'd like to dive right into the matter of the day. Sir, being the economist that you are, with your strong financial background, you've been in the banking industry for a very long time. From the days of Diamond to Guardian Express. What was the rationale, the vision behind going into the oil and gas industry? I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of people are also curious. We want to know that, please.
Okay, I would step back a bit and to the beginning of the concept Virgin Forest. I was sharing that with Rufai before he left. That concept was conceived in a luxury hotel in Abuja, a hotel then called Bolingo Hotel. If any of you can remember Abuja, in the late 90s, early 2000, you remember a hotel called Bolingo Hotel. It was among the best hotels then in Abuja, and I had a trip in Abuja, and I was still working with my boss here, Mike Chukwu. I was staying in the 6th floor of that hotel, and my room was at the extreme corner of the hotel. And in the night, maybe around 7:38, I stood by the window and I looked around Abuja, and the entire landscape was under construction. A construction sites everywhere. Abuja is not what it is today. It was not what it is today. If you will see fine building, we just see construction everywhere. And I called my wife and said, you know what? I want her to set up a company. So can you give me names? And then she suggested some names. And the names were a combination of her name and my name. And so after going through the names, I said to her that, the truth is that this country is actually a virgin forest. But I'm just looking around the three corners of where I was, that this place is just an unexplored land. And it's a place that if you really work hard, if you till the ground a bit, you can actually get a lot of harvest. So that's the concept of it. So immediately I said that it's struck. I said, that's it. And then we arrived at the concept of virgin forest. That night, I was led by the Spirit. I think that's what we'll say. So I didn't sleep all through the night. I called a friend of mine. Unfortunately, the guy is now past MSN. And said, look, you have to help us corporate the company. So he came that night, took the name, and came back the next day with a memat. But the memat, that's a different story, because he just copied and replaced our name, and I didn't accept it. So that night I wrote down, like when you say, when God ministers to you, you need to put it down, because this company was actually created by God. It's out of God's vision. That night I didn't sleep. I began to write the strategic plan of the company. I wrote about carrier assets. We wrote about Virgin Forest Oil and Gas. We wrote about telecommunication, and everything we have gone into, and everything we're going to go into was written in a single night. So in the morning, this was 2001. So in the morning I called, I said, this is what we're going to go into. That document is still live, it's still in my laptop. So the concept of what the business we considered were, what are those growth opportunities in the country? what are the opportunities that will continue to blossom in the near future. And the concept of going into oil and gas sector was basically saying, look, energy will never go out of fashion in the world. The mode of the energy could change, but we will need energy. We could move from coal energy as a major energy source to maybe hydro energy, but energy will, and that's also why we made it. We didn't call it virgin forest oil and gas. We called it virgin forest energy. We said we want to go into the energy sector. And one of the concepts about the energy is that everything that moves, everything that is active, drives on energy. If you don't eat for a couple of days, you won't have energy to stand up. If this fan does not have energy supply, it won't move. So we just said energy is one sector among the sectors we defined in our strategic plan as the initiators, and I and my wife then, of the company, that, and that's what they formed it. If you look at the strategic plan, like I said, Cowley Asset was conceived. It was just, the difference is that it was written as Virgin Forest Capital Market. So when we wanted to start, we didn't have money to start. So we had to go to other investors. And that's how we raised money to start Cowley with other investors. And we also felt that Virgin Forest would not fit appropriately into a capital market. And that's how we began to seek for a name. And before we stumbled on, let's look for the name of Cowley, and a name that can mirror wealth creation, store of value across African continent. So, but the basic thing about your question is that it was born out of a vision that was given by God. Like I said, that vision was articulated a single night, and we said energy will never go out of fashion. We're going to go into energy sector, and that's how the concept of virgin forest energy was conceived.
Thank you very much.
Thank
sir.
you very much, sir.
That's quite interesting. I'm sure we are taking notes.
Yes, sir.
Next time, if you're married, next time you have an idea, please call your wife.
Exactly.
Please. That's a key thing here. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, just a follow-up on what you said and the question you said. Virgin Forest has been playing in the downstream sector for the past 15 years. What's the way forward? Is there any program down the line to expand to upstream? What is the expansion program in your vision like?
We have actually expanded to the upstream sector. Our head of technical is actually basically the one driving our upstream sector. Is here, Mr. Vincent. Is here. So we've gone beyond the downstream sector. We're now in the upstream sector. The journey, I guess along the line, we'll talk about the journey from the beginning to where we are today. But beyond that, like I said, our concept of the energy sector is not limited to oil and gas. It includes all forms of energy. And our expansion plan will include electric energy supply. It will include non-fossil fuel energy supply, including what you call renewable energy. Renewable energy. That's the intention, that we're going to go beyond. In fact, anybody who is serious in the energy sector will begin to expand into the renewable energy sector. But in the meantime, we are beginning to establish gas facilities. So we're not just dealing with the liquid. We have also gone into gas as gas energy. But beyond that, we're also going to go into renewable energy, including wind, harvesting wind energy, solar energy supply sources at the industrial level. So, but we, like I said, energy will never go out of fashion as long as man lives on earth.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that detailed explanation. Sir, would like to know, having this vision, the energy, renewable energy, is there a plan to go public later? I mean, with these beautiful ideas, this, marvelous thing that is even yet to kickstart. Just like you have the likes of Seplat, on NGX, would Virgin be looking at going public later in the future?
But it's not even, it's the near future. It's absolutely necessary because we have an overarching vision. Cannot be incubated by only 2 or 3 persons. In the first place, our upstream sector was opened up. We have investors there. Some of them are here. shareholders in University and P. And the intention is that in the next couple of years, when I say not couple, in less than 5 years, we will have a strong enough footprint in the upstream sector where what we're building is an integrated energy company, and we will open it up to the general public. Even in that, we have continued to admit shareholders, and we have expanded it beyond the family outfit. The concept is that the resources we need, the intellectual resources, the financial resources, the economic resources, are not all within us, and we are open to new investors.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Beyond veggie. I've known you for so many years, and you've been in the forefront of decision making. Right. Now, I want to ask, what spurs you when you are making decisions? What are the things you look at?
That's a different. Okay, I'll skate around the key factor that influence decision making. I think, is Daniel here? Not Daniel. Daniel that works with me. I had some similar thing. We're having a conversation with this afternoon. The first thing I ask myself is that, what is the primary and overriding objective? You must know why you are doing what you're doing, why you want to do what you want to do. What's your purpose? That must define your decision point. Is at the foundation at the fundamental level of decision making. What do I want to achieve? Otherwise, you get decided by noise. Because in the environment we are, there's so much noise, so much distractions, that if you don't define your objective, you're going to make a wrong decision. When you define what do I want to achieve, it becomes easy for you to narrow the decision options. And then the next thing I ask myself, after this, what next? That after this, what next helps guide you to remain within a fine space of ethical and moral issues. Because you also know that a lot of things do not last forever. So you're going to take the decision that will enable you stand by the decision you've taken. And then the next factor is, I said, for my name's sake. When I say for my name's sake, and I took that from the scripture. So whenever God wanted to take a decision that was against the Jews or the Israelites, he will always say, in fact, it was Moses that brought it to his attention, like, if you destroy these people, it will be like you brought them out to destroy them. So you ask yourself, for my name's sake. And what do I say? That I was having a girl with Chastani, and I was sharing with him some of the things I will not do for my name's sake. And his basic thing is that when you take a decision, consider the fact that I don't want to soil my reputation. I'm not going to do this for my personal interest. I'm going to do this for the larger group interest. It keeps you within defined objectives. So you start with, what is the primary objective? 2, you ask yourself, after this, so you don't take a short-term decision and say, look, let me just make money, let me just cut the corner, and then, because if you cut corner, you find out that whatever you have gotten, the utility value of whatever you have gotten evaporate after time. Is it that you want to make my car or build a house? If you live in that house for 5 years, you lose interest in it. So there's nothing you will get on earth that is enduring other than salvation. But we'll come back to that. That's not the couple of different now. But the basic thing is that if you have your access self, why do you want this? What do you want to achieve? What's the primary objective of this? What I want to do this. Then what happens after 3? What do I stand to gain or lose? So in that case, what for my name sake, I'm going to take a decision. And then finally, I take decisions that I make sure that it's not clouded by personal interest, that it's not overshadowed by what do I have to gain. So because you have to look at the long term, if you take decisions based on a short, you're going to take decisions. So you take decisions, and then the next thing is you ask, what are the issues? Let them start up the issues around the decision point. and then you take a simple. The decisions I take are very simple guideline. Use common sense. What does common sense say? If you can't go with common sense.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very, very, very insightful. A lot to learn. At least it will help us, each and every one of us, to know, what to look out for and how to drive our decisions. And I shouldn't just end there. So, sir, I would like to ask a final question for me. In respect of the virgin forests, what would you say that they can improve on? In the last 15 years, something has been doing well, but I'm sure there'll be one or two things that you would want them to improve, either in respect of the staff or the people. If there's anything at all, you would advise them to say, yes, we are going into another decade. These are the things you should do better.
Was it Derek Koshulala or Lamidi Adelabu that said you don't shout at the person you can whisper to? But because the fire chat, so we are open. One is that I will start from the things they've done well. They have the kind of passion that I used to when I was younger. Mike would testify to them when I had the fire. But as you age, the fire begins to aim. So they have the energy of young people. So they don't believe it's not possible. There's not possible does not exist in their diary. And as you see them dancing when they were doing the praise and worship, that's the energy they have. So these young people have the drive. And beyond that, they are go-getters. And they have a good leader. And one of the things I'm going to pay to the MD, though, with all due respect, here she's just the MD, but outside here she's also combines other roles for me. But the key thing is that she has tenacity. She has determination. She's very passionate. And I tell people, look, the passion is very important in it. You have to do in private business. Because that energy is what drives people around you. You must have the energy to go for it. So they have the passion. But as they are expanding, we have done a lot of specialization. But bear in mind that every pilot you achieve requires another level of institutionalization. So one of the things we're working on is continue to institutionalize. We are looking for more and more skills that we don't have in-house. If those skills are open to new employees, we're looking for open to new shareholders, we're open to new directors, and we are also open-minded. The good thing is that we have a culture of openness. So the MP, there is nothing hidden anywhere in the company. There's no file or cabinet that the staff cannot open and go and verify. There's no conversation you are having with the management and so staff comes and say, please, excuse us. It doesn't happen. There's no meeting that every senior management staff does not get involved. But we need to continue to upscale the institutionalization process because we are scaling up. And this scaling up requires a higher level of competence, a higher level of structure. I'll give you an instance. Our banker looked at our turnover and our profitability and said, look, you need to go and get one of the 4 audit firms to begin to become your auditor. That's additional level of institutionalization. We're going to bring in independent directors to sit on the board. That's part of the institution. So we are looking for skill and knowledge that will make us move to that higher level beyond where we are. And that's one of the things I think we are doing going forward.
Thank you very much. I knew we will learn a lot. So I'm going to ask an off-the-cuff question. In most establishments, once you hear the man is the chairman, the wife is the MD, trouble will start. It rarely works. How is it working for you? What is the secret? Some of us, they find it difficult to even hold home. I'm not even going to company. Home. Now we're talking of institutions. that is waxing so strong, expanding on every frontier, and yet is a couple. What is the secret, sir?
It's not secret to. It's just understanding, and I'll tell you why I say it's understanding. In the first place, I, as the chairman and the MD, know our functions and roles and responsibilities, and we have kept a very fine Chinese wall between our relationship as husband and wife and relationship as MD and chairman. If you have ever attended our management meeting or any meeting where both of us are, you won't believe we are married. Because you hear chairman, sorry sir, excuse me sir. And so you will never believe that we are married. But outside when we are honey, she can give me a knock on the head. But in the office, she cannot place her finger if I don't call her to speak. So she knows and respects those fine lines. And I also have, with all due respect, a nuisance value. Like my wife will tell you that this is a man that can sack me and stop me from coming to work. So I respect it. I know my limits. So it basically for both of us understand the jobs we do, and we make sure that they don't conflict. The role at the family is at role at family. The role in the office, it's pure professional job. Nothing less. I do her appraisal, I judge her achievement, I score her, and I give her a award based on her achievement. She cannot increase her salary. I approve the salary of every staff. I approve her salary. She will not take a kobo out of the company's coffers without approval. And there is no commingling of her personal resources and company resources. The company is a different entity entirely, and that's the way it is.
Please,
A round of applause
for the MD. Chief Mrs., we appreciate you. We appreciate you. That's a beautiful appraiser.
Thank you.
At this point, we are ready to take questions.
Questions from the audience.
Anybody.
From anybody.
The chairman has thrown it open. Any question?
Any question?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask just one simple question. You seem to have everything in sight before you. What's your opinion and your advice to all of us on the phrase retire from work and go back home to sit down? What's your opinion on that? What do you see and how does that play out? I don't believe in it, but I'd like to hear from you. Thank you.
So I take the questions as they come. One of the things I tell everybody is that you know yourself. People should first try to understand themselves. And I tell people, earlier you do that. Sit back in your quiet moment and ask yourself, who exactly am I? What do I want in life? What can I tolerate? What can't I tolerate? We were not created the same. And that's why here we have pastors, we have janitors, we have drivers, we have musicians, we have Yomi Sangs. We have everybody doing different things. So the route you will take in life should be determined by your personality profile, your self-assessment, and it has to be a brutal self-assessment. There's nothing wrong with working and retiring and living a retired life, a decent life. What matters, you must aspire to live a decent life, and must aspire that whatever you are doing in life, make sure you excel, so that when people that are in that profession where that you practice are being mentioned, your name will come up. It doesn't matter what it is. Even if you be a chorister, be the best chorister. Okay? And then, you see, the thing about happiness or fulfillment is it's a self-choice. It's personal choice. It's not amount of weight you have. You don't have to set up a calorie of forest. You just live a life that fits into your personality. And that means some people, I have seen people, my friends, who have told me they just don't, some of them are 60, and at 60, in the morning they go to Ikoyi Club to play golf. Okay? And they begged me and persuaded me to come and join the golf course section of Ikoyi Club. I refused because I can't commit that time. But that's what gives them happiness. I am happy I go into gym box to go and box for 40 minutes, and I'm happy. They are ready to play golf from 9 in the morning to 4 in the evening. So the question is, you ask yourself, is not whether you want to retire home, it's what exactly do I want out of life? And build yourself around the thing that will give you happiness and fulfillment. That's it.
What were we talking about? We are talking about how you feel working with your wife. And 7 out of those 8 men said, I can never work with my wife. Never. My question is this. How does it feel working with your wife? Getting out from the same house, going to the same office, and so on. How does it feel?
Okay, like I said earlier, I'll just add a few things to it. The fundamental fact is that we understand our roles and we make sure they don't conflict. And because we have even performance standards, we have our job descriptions, and we have my own job description. So everybody stays within his or her own line. So she knows what she has authority to do, and she knows what she doesn't have authority to do. And if she goes outside her authority, I will always beat her back to line. Say, no, you can't do this. Don't do this again. And she's very wise woman. I must give her that credit. And I think that's at the heart of that success for us to work together. She knows the right thing to do. She's very wise. And I think that defines it. But I also respect her for her competencies. And I respect her as my wife at home, and respect her as the MD in the office. So that takes two to tango. A lot of times the men who say they can't work with their wife are because they are also interested in other side attractions. So if you eliminate those outside attractions, if you ever been to my office, you know I have an office that's open the office. Anybody here from Cowley? My office is permanently open. So sometimes I will judge, my wife will just walk in. See, my wife, I believe, knows where I am 99% of the time. So there was an incident that happened, and I think it's good to use that to drive home the point. I went to Yo, and in the evening, I went out with the driver to eat. My battery died. Because we first went to Oran and came back and went to eat. My battery died. My wife called. She didn't get. She started calling the Meridian Hotel. She said, my husband is so and so. Can you find out why his phone is not going through? The people at the reception said, no, we can't take. We don't do that. She said to them, it's my husband, I know. We don't have that culture. You can't go and check his room. They said, no, we can't. They thought, the way Nigerian, they thought there was a protocol somewhere. But so when I was coming back, so as I entered the reception to collect, because my key was also disabled, so collect the key. So now said, your wife has been called, So, and interestingly, she was on the line with them. I said, please bring the phone. So she now explained to them. I said, look, we have an open door policy. There was nothing wrong with. She knew my room. She was telling you my room number. So you could have gone to check if I was there or anything had gone wrong. They said, no, the wives. I said, no, we just note it. And since that day, if I enter that hotel or she enter that hotel, they all know us. For that particular incident, they know us. We can call and book a reservation and they will just, Mr. Johnson Chukwu. So, but the basic thing is that transparency, openness is very key. Not just in your working with your husband, your relationship with your spouse. Extreme level of openness. If you are open to your partner, there is no basis for suspicion. She's open to me. I don't expect her to mess around with the company's finances. She knows I don't need anything. Unfortunately, you guys know I'm a vostik. So, the things I need. If you see me wearing better shoes, you bought it. I've not bought any shoe for the past 10 years. I think it's born out of my belief that life should be lived. And what I mean by life should be lived, that you ask yourself, what is my objective in life? I've always said it. My objective in life is not to be a rich man. I've never set out to be a rich man, and I'm not yet a rich man. But my objective in life is to live a worthy life, a life of impact. And that then means that whenever you see me do the corporate work, it doesn't put pressure on me because I'm doing it with my heart. So I can work sometimes I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, work till 6:30. And so my colleagues will see, when we're reviewing minutes, you see my comments around 4:30, 4 o'clock, 3:35. And then it doesn't weigh me down because I'm doing this not with any burden. The pressures come when you do work with burden. If you do work as if it is fun, you're not going to be bogged down. The other thing I may call a secret, it's not a secret about life, is that the way you use your time is very critical to your success or failure in life. Time is the only commodity that is common, shared equally among all of us. Everyone here has 24 hours. Gordon may be more intelligent than me, or Obi may be fatter than me, his stomach may be bigger than mine. But one thing we all share commonly is the time. So how effectively you use your time is very critical to doing too many things at the same time. And I give you an instance. Sometimes when I woke up by 4:30 and I don't want to walk and I lay down in bed, like this morning, I woke up maybe 3:50 or so. I said, no, I want to sleep. I laid on the bed. I was trying to sleep. Sleep didn't come. 10 minutes after, I said, yeah, I've wasted 10 minutes. I jumped out of the bed. Because I said, what's the purpose of wasting? I'm not tired. I'm not sleeping. Go and use that time. So I had to use that time. So what I do is that I've also eliminated a lot of wastes in my social life. I don't go to beer parlor to drink. I don't spend time watching people who are making millions of naira per hour watching football. Not that if you come to my house and you came to stay with me, I can't see that on television because you are there. But if you are not there, like last night, Liverpool was playing against PSG, and they brought me fruit to take. I finished taking the fruit. The match was interesting. I said to myself, go and sleep. I abandoned the match, went to sleep. In the morning, I checked the Liverpool lost. But I'm just saying that, look, that if I had stayed to watch that match because they played extra time, I'm sure that match would have ended around 11 or so. Okay, it would have been possible for me to wake up to 4. So the time I gain by not watching the match is that time I use in the morning hours. So among the things you do is you need to define what you use your time to do. Every minute counts. I can actually give you account of every minute I spend in a day. I was talking to Obi the other day, this one that is here, and what were we discussing? I said, Obi, that you want us to have a conversation for 15 minutes. So I said, Obi, why would I spend on the phone with you for 10 minutes? He said, yeah, Paje, that's what he calls me. Paje, you mean you also monitor the time you spend on phone? I said, why not? I said, Obi, do you know if I spend 10 minutes, it was 5 minutes we have actually discussing, and we're supposed to have a simple discussion. If I spend 5 minutes times 10, that's 50 minutes. That there are 10 people I will talk, I would have lost 1 hour, because before I switch from one phone to the other, I would have lost 1 hour. That 1 hour you've lost looks useless to you. It's losing consequential, but it's very critical. So if you lose one of such hours 4 times in a day, that's 4 hours. A lot of people here spend 2-3 hours on the phone every day. They don't even know they have spent time on the phone. So I'm also very conscious of how I use my time. One of the things I use now, I used to go to the gym in the morning. Now I go in the evening. You know why I started going in the evening? I'll tell you why. The morning time is very productive time for me. But beyond that, towards evening, our friends walk into your office. They want to gist. So anybody who is a friend I'm inviting for a meeting in my office that I know is social, I always say them come by 4:30. When you come by 4:30, 30 minutes after I say I'm going to the gym, I feel this. You will say I didn't receive you. We've had our social conversation. I still go to my gym. Thank you all.
I think with your level of discipline, I had the crossfire session with Pastor Aneke yesterday. And one of the things I would like to kindly request is to mentor younger people, to try and find time to pass on some of these skills to the younger generation, because they have a lot of distractions, so if you just find some time to invest in the younger generation and, mentor them and disciple people. Thank you very much.
Please, can we rise on our feet? A round of applause for the chairman of Virgin Forest, and the chairman of so many other institutions. Thank you very much, sir. It's always a pleasure hearing you talk.